Alright guys, so in this video we actually have a lot to go over. We'll start by finishing up the user defaults. So the next thing we have to do, we already set up the save user defaults. Next thing we need to read the user defaults. So after a lot of fiddling around, I'm not going to lie, I had a really hard time actually making the reading something that was really easy to somehow use a return value to modify a binding or a state boolean. We need that in order to go from the login view we need essentially some sort of bound or some binding boolean to use for the navigation link to move us toward tab through a view. So I tried a bunch of different things, and to be honest I really struggled. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna create the function we need, but we're gonna write it in its entirety in the on appear of the navigation link itself, just so we know it executes definitely at the proper time. So if you guys have a chance, please feel free to take the code for this entire finished project as of this would be, I think, tutorial number 9. You'll know in the video title. And if you just you're welcome to take that code and fiddle around with it and see if there's a more expandable way to do what we're trying to do here. The link is in the description. But let's go ahead and keep moving now. So on up here, and then we're going to use this, and we'll walk through what every piece of this is. I'm going to comment it out and we'll recreate it together, okay? Sorry. Man. There we go. So, looking here, we have start by using if let. So if let last login underscore objects equal user defaults standard object for key, and we're using last login underscore objects, okay, and that is based off of the string that we had here in the save user defaults function, okay. I'll go back here, and the next thing we need to do is, so that's an if let, so if that does not work, and we'll say print, I'm going to copy and paste it, I have to write it a million times, couldn't unwrap data / last login objects. Now once we get inside there, we're going to need to do try catch, so some error handling as it tries to unarchive what we had. So everything is on the, here we are, so do if let last session equal try nskeyed unarchiver. So what we're saying is try to unarchive last login objects, which we just created. And we want to unarchive it as a string, as it's a dictionary of string to an optional any. That's also based off of helper functions. That's what we stored everything as, string optional any. Okay. So we'll save it. Yes, this right here needs to say as data, because we're trying to open up the last login objects as data. And if we're able to open them and make sure they are of type data, then we can use them in last session. And if that finally works, then we have successfully logged in, and self.loggedin equals true. Okay, and this is for us. We can just say, so we have something for ourselves. We'll have print logged in successfully. Save and run it. So what this should do, what it should do for us is it should automatically move us to tab to review if this was successful. There we are. So in the final version, we don't even want to see that login screen if we're successful. So we'll put some sort of loader that'll either take us one way or take us the other way. But let's go ahead and keep moving. Okay. So we've gone here. We've successfully logged in. We've saved the fact that we logged in. We have worked our way forwards and backwards for that. And now I'm actually going to skip to a different part here. What I want to do is I want to create a new page for posting new content. Okay. And so I'm going to come here and I'm going to say File, New, and I want to create a new file. Okay. And I want to create a SwiftUI view. And we are back in the game of designing a page. So if you were hoping we got away from that for a little bit, unfortunately we did not. So we're going to make this the new post view. Okay, but if you bear with us and let us create this page, we're going to get to essentially creating all the data that goes into a post, storing that in Firestore. We're going to get into using an image picker within SwiftUI, so getting into the UI view controller representables. And when we use all those, we'll be able to upload images into Firebase and Firestore storage as well. So, new post view. Great. All right. And let's go ahead and keep the canvas open for now. For this, we can do this for a little while we're designing it, and I think it makes things easier. So, canvas. Let's put a VStack. I always start with a VStack. And this VStack is going to have a few things. It's going to have an HStack at the top, okay, because what I want, I'll do is text just for a second. Resume. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create essentially something that we're on the top, the same way Instagram, you can kind of scroll through all the different photos in your post. We're going to have something like that. And then underneath, where you can scroll through the ingredients and scroll through all the steps that you have attached to this recipe. So we're going to have a VStack, and underneath it, we'll have an HStack, and underneath it, another HStack. But that HStack will be made of 2 scroll views. Okay. One for ingredients and one for steps. Okay. And so I put a VStack. Inside of it is a double HStack. Inside of the second one is 2 scroll views and VStacks inside of each one. I'm going to go ahead and put just text. Okay. And let's just see as it tries to load up a preview for us. Kind of struggling to put these tasks together, so while it continues to try to do that, this up here is going to be an image. So let's make this system name. We'll use time lapse. Okay, and put that in quotations. And then I know for a fact that I want this, it's going to be a resizable image. And I know that I'm going to want its frame. Well, I should say, yeah, it's frame. It's going to have a width of UI screen dot main dot bounds dot size dot width. And I'm actually going to make it a perfect square, so that'll also be its height. Okay, there we go. I'm probably going to want a background of a certain color just for now. Make it blue. And we'll say, lastly, scale to, we'll say scale to fit. Okay. I'm struggling a little bit. It's almost done running through these tasks. A lot of them have to do with kind of the different CocoaPods we had, and every time we kind of clean and build, it has to run through all of them again. So while that's going, that's essentially we set up what's going to be the top portion, where you can kind of choose the images that you want to attach to the recipe. And then on the left and right hand side underneath it, so we're going to have underneath it is 2 up and down scroll views. So I know for a fact that they're going to be equal in width, so I'm going to say the width, just to make sure that it doesn't get messed up. I'm going to say it has a bound size dot width over 2. That will definitely work. There's no hard-coded values in there, at least no numerically hard-coded values. They are technically hard-coded values, but they won't change because the size of your screen will never change. So that is exactly what I was hoping to make. So now we're gonna have two scroll views, one that scrolls this way and one that scrolls this way. So inside of this VStack, we are going to put me say, actually, what I even want to do is I want to put a VStack on the outside of this guy. So I'm going to take that scroll view and I'm going to embed that in the VStack. And I'm going to take this one, I'm going to embed that in the VStack. The reason being is I want to put a little title here. So I'm going to put a title here that says steps, ingredients, probably best. Okay. And this one, I'm going to say steps. And you'll be able to essentially scroll through each of those ingredients, steps. And I'm going to give this one a background color of yellow for now. And I'm going to give this one a background color of green. And what I want to do next is inside of this ingredients, well, let's go through the ingredients one. We're going to have a for each. And actually, before we get to the for each, let's go up to the top here and create 2 new variables. So here inside of the struct, but above the var for the body. So we will have variable steps is going to be equal to an array. For now, I'll just put some random string in there. And we're going to have right here another one, and it's going to be, say, ingredients. And what I want to do is I want to save it, and I want to go up to structs, enums, and classes. And I want to create 2 new structs. Okay. The first struct is going to be something I kind of thought out a little bit. It's going to be an ingredient. Okay, so ingredient. And ingredient will make it conform to identifiable. That way we can loop through it. ID will be equal to UUID. Okay. And we want to have a name, amount, and order number. Okay, when I say order number, what I'm saying is I want to know, I get ingredients, it doesn't really matter with respect to, how you list them. Whether you list tomatoes versus cucumbers, it doesn't really matter. But for steps, it does matter. But I like order, so I'd rather keep at least the option for including the order of ingredients listed later. Okay, so name, string, amount, and order number. Var amount, string, order number, int. Okay, and actually, I'm gonna take this and make this a little complex. Okay, and we'll appreciate it later for sure. So I'm gonna do an enum, and I'm gonna say this unit, ingredient unit. Okay, and I'm gonna go through here and I say case. I'm gonna list a bunch of cases. I'm gonna have liter. Actually, let's say cup. Amount, for amount, we'll put double. Okay, so we'll have cup. We'll have spoon or tablespoon. We'll have teaspoon. And let's just say a pinch. Some of these, people, when you make an ingredient, sometimes you say you have a pinch or a dash or something like that. So let's say pinch dash. Let's say maybe pound, B, kg, mg, g, ml, l. All right, and we can go ahead and leave it like that for now. Okay, there's a good number right there. So when I say amount, we'll say amount unit. Yeah, no, we can't do that. And that is going to be of type ingredient unit. Okay, and now that I've created that, the next thing I want to do is for a step. So step, identifiable, ID is going to have UUID. Okay, and we're going to have what we chose to have a description and an order number. And order number. Okay, that's good like that. So what I'll go and I'll do over here is I'll say steps will be equal to, it'll be of type step, and I'll go to, I want to make sure, I like using, I'm trying to move over to using capitals for when I declare something like that. Alright, so we'll go back to new post view, and then let's just add a couple of steps. So let's have step, and we'll say add eggs. Order number, let's say 0. Okay. Go ahead with that. And then we'll go to ingredients, and we'll say that is going to be of type ingredient. And it's going to be a little more tedious to make some sample data, but it's going to be way better in the long run, okay? So ingredient, and then we'll have, let's say name, eggs, amount, and then we'll say 4, ingredient, or 3, and here's another example. Let's go ahead and just make another one. We'll just say, for another option, it could be whole. Okay, and go back to new post. I'll say dot whole. It didn't save up here, so save. There we go. Now we can autocomplete them. So whole. Order number 1. So I'm actually going to go ahead and change this to 1. Okay. And the limit there is 0. And let's make this parsley. Okay, and we'll say 2. We'll say whole. Okay, and let's say order number 1. Okay, and I'm just going to take these, I'm going to copy them. I'm going to make probably about 10 of them. I'm just going to go through 2, 4, 6. I'm going every other because I'm going to go back into the other ones. 10, 12, 14, 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 3, 5. Okay. And the reason I did that now is I can go here and I can run through a for each loop, and I can say in this VStack I'll do a for each, and then for each we'll run through ingredients id dot id. Okay, and that lets us run through them like that. Say this ingredient. So lets us access each item in the closure. Well, for each one of those, we'll create a text. And that text will, inside of it, will say ingredient dot. Here we go. We'll use string interpolation here. So ingredient, this ingredient dot amount plus, actually we don't even need to say plus because it's string interpolation of this ingredient dot we use amount unit. We're going to ignore the unit for a second because we're going to have to set up a way to convert these cases to actually to strings. So we'll go from there and we'll just say the name. So say name. So now if we run it, or we should resume. That should work out. Probably just missing something small in here. So we can kind of work our way backwards, just kind of get rid of these pieces, make sure everything worked. alone. Make sure that worked. All right, so sure enough, it did. So let's go to this. Let's do text. That's what it is. It's in this. It needs to say ingredients. That's all. So we need to go through the list. There we go. There we go. So 3. I mean, we'll work on these numbers like this. I actually did that in another video. So this will say 3 eggs, or 2 parsley, and it will have the units in there as well. And so that will be scrollable. So if I were to take this right here, you'll know that's scrollable because if I just do that really quick, and it updates. Right, resume. It'll just take a second to catch up. We'll do the same thing for steps in the meantime, so I'll copy all that. Hit play. So that way we can see how that would work out. And while that's setting itself up, I'm going to go here and I'm going to take this VStack and I am going to replace that. Here we go. There's our scroll view. Okay, so we just need to set some finite heights for this, make sure that it clips when it overflows. And we'll do that really quick right here. We'll say inside, right. First we'll put this in here and we'll say this one will be steps. So this step, okay, and then we'll say step, and this one will just be step. The text will literally just be string interpolation. Step dot description. Dot description. So there you go. So in the next video, we might as well just finish this up really quickly. So right here, we need this to trim. So scroll view. Let's go ahead and just say that scroll view. If we look at it, we just need to clip it. So that should take care of that. That did the clipping right there. We'll do that on the other side as well. Right after the frame. And we don't actually have to worry about it yet because we're not there yet. We're going to align everything to the left. In the next one, we'll take care of a little bit more of the formatting, and then we'll get into putting images up here and working with the image picker. All right, I'll see you in the next video.